Federal lawsuit is taking on the Alabama Department of Corrections after an inmate's body was returned to his family missing an organ. He was returned to them without a heart, and he is not the only inmate returned in a similar condition. An autopsy was conducted on 43-year-old Brandon Dotson shortly after he died in prison. But when his body was returned, his loved ones discovered his heart was missing. Instead, an investigation suggests the organ was taken by forensic pathologists at the University of Alabama, Birmingham for medical research without the family's consent. Joining us now is the Dotson family attorney, Lauren Ferrano. Lauren, we appreciate you joining us. And can we start with you just sharing a little more about this case? How did Brandon's family discover that his heart was missing in the first place?
Sure. So Brandon's family learned that his heart was missing because they hired a second pathologist to conduct an autopsy. Alabama's prisons have been in crisis now for years, and they didn't trust the results that were going to come from the Department of Corrections itself. So when they reached into their retirement savings to hire this second pathologist, the pathologist told them that a heart was not in the body. And since then, we've learned that many other families have been impacted as well.
I mean, as you mentioned, they buried their father without organs after they were removed in an autopsy. Does the University of Alabama have any right to these organs? Do they need the families to consent?
We do believe that they need the families to consent. And right now, they are using the consent of the wardens to take these organs and use them for whatever purpose they see fit. The law is very clear that it requires family consent for the retention of organs. And what we're seeing is these people who are dying in prison custody being treated in a way that no other person in society is being treated. They're being treated less than. And the wardens are giving these permissions that they don't actually have the authority to give.
The Department of Corrections states that autopsies are only performed when an inmate's death is suspicious or unnatural. Does the Dotson family have any clarity over what exactly happened to their son?
We don't have much clarity about anything. There was a hearing that we had to try to determine where is this heart. And I think all of us left that hearing more confused than we were when we went in. The Department of Corrections with the university give permission, and yet we have prior autopsies from previous years that show that the warden is the one who gave permission. So we are still very much in the investigative phase. All we know is that University of Alabama is engaged in a practice through the consent of the Department of Corrections to take organs without family permission.
How often do you suspect this might be happening? I mean, do you think there's some families who are receiving their loved one's body back and they are not funding a second autopsy of their own?
Absolutely. Families have thousands of dollars to have a second autopsy. So right now, I'm in touch with multiple families. I got a call again this morning from a new family that discovered they were able to hire a second pathologist, and they discovered that all of the organs were missing as well. But in most instances, the family is burying their loved one, and they don't know that this is happening. Based off of the numbers that we currently have access to, we suspect that at least dozens, if not hundreds, of families have been impacted.
So what does justice look like for this family?
Well, we certainly want to raise awareness, and we appreciate the coverage of this important issue. Ultimately, we just want the university to have to ask for consent from the family. We all support medical research. And if the family says yes, then I have no problem with the organs being taken. But right now, the law is not being followed, and the university is taking advantage of a vulnerable population.
All right, Lauren Ferrano, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more.
$20